Today we have a special guest. This is my husband, Reggie Ewing.
All right, hello everyone.
He is my better half, all right? And I wanted to talk about the harder they fall. And actually on my podcast / live show, I don't even know what you call it, our Melanated Air channel, where I discuss current topics that are going on in the world and the economy and our communities, and we try to relate it to a business perspective. We talked about the harder they fall, and I'm in Egypt. I keep reminding y'all that, and my internet got jacked up via some construction outside my building, and it ain't been right. So I didn't get to really get out everything I wanted to say because my internet kept cutting out. So I have a platform, so this is my opportunity to do that, and I didn't want it to be a one-way conversation. So I invited my wonderful, handsome husband on here so y'all can see his face and know that I am not doing this by myself. He is helping us grow and build our generational wealth. So today we're going to talk about the harder they fall. I'm going to get my take on it. We're going to get his take on it, which after our conversation just a little while ago, I see very different takes, and that's okay. So stick around. Hey YouTube, it is your girl, Teddy Ewing, with her husband, Reggie Ewing. Talking about financial freedom through entrepreneurship, your hustle and your grind, and building generational wealth. And today we're going to talk the harder they fall. And I'm going to relate the harder they fall back to those three topics and see how we can go forward with watching a movie like that. I break movies down, y'all. Like, I am a movie lover. As the more busy I've been with the business, the less I've been able to watch movies. But I love watching movies, and this one was great. Number one, it was a mostly black cast. It was directed by a black man, even though I think it was like co-directed, and had some of my favorite actors in them, and they just did a really good job. So it was a good movie. It caught my attention, and it had so many messages. I had to rewatch it so I can catch all the messages. So overall, let's talk about what you got from the movie. Let's start with him, and then I'm going to come back to me. So what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on The Harder They Fall?
Honestly, it was a good movie. It's good to see a black cast movie every now and then. Honestly, but what caught me, first thing I seen was a generational curse. That caught my attention, and that's what intrigued me to the movie because, you know, you get to see this generational curse up close. You get to see black love up close. You get to see, you know, entrepreneurship up close. So all this stuff, you know, a part of the movie is what kind of had me in tune with the movie. So.
Okay, so I talk generational wealth a lot and the importance of building it. I talk crypto, I talk entrepreneurship, building businesses, I talk investing, even though I'm not a financial advisor, y'all, so this is just fun, right? This is my educational tokens to you, but definitely just me living my life and kind of sharing gems. So instead of generational wealth, let's talk about generational curses. What was the generational curse side that you saw in the movie? Or some of the generational curses you saw?
Right from the jump, with the, well, I can't tell y'all the movie.
You can tell the movie. I mean,
okay.
Spoiler alert, like, it's been a week. If y'all ain't watched it, y'all behind.
Exactly. So, okay, in the beginning of the movie, we didn't know that was his oldest son. His oldest son comes in the house, and he kills his father and his new wife, and then he marks his baby brother with a cross symbol.
Can we say a man comes and does that?
No, because it was his brother. No. Might as well just tell the story about it. Right?
Okay, go ahead.
Ain't no need to. At the end of the day, just tell the whole story.
Okay, go ahead.
What you're going to get from me is the truth. You know, I think I can't hide it, you know, telling a lie about something. You're going to get the truth from me. This is why I'm not on YouTube. So, honestly, you know, to see that, and then when you see the story unfold, it's a shame that, you know, all this hate is going amongst two brothers because they don't even know the story. You see what I'm saying? They don't understand the history of what went behind, and they taking actions into their own hands. You see what I'm saying? And
that's good. So that brings me to the revenge, right? So we know the plot of the movie, even without giving away spoilers, is revenge.
Yeah.
Nat Love's character is avenging the murder of his parents and the marking of him. And he's looking for everyone involved, right? But in his pursuit of revenge, spoiler alert, he's becoming everything the generation in front of him, his father, wanted to get away from.
Yes.
He's becoming everything that his father tried to leave and abandon. So he's the antithesis of what his generation, his father, wanted him to be. And that came out when Rufus Buck, Idris Elba's character, told him at the end, He's like, he said, you're everything he tried to run from.
He said that exactly.
And that's life, right? Mm-hmm. That is life. Like they say in a lot of homes that if you saw like abuse and violence in your home and you hate it, or your parent wasn't there, let's say your father wasn't, average, right? Your father wasn't in your life, then you grow up and become that person who's not in your kid's life, right? So it's like that generational curse is just following you.
Exactly.
And it's a curse because it's something you can't get away from. You hated that most growing up that your parent wasn't there. You hated it most that there was abuse or violence in your home. Then you grow up and do the exact same thing because that's what you know. Mm-hmm. That's your comfort zone, is the chaos that you grew up in. Yeah. And, that brings me to the second point of how often in life do we try to run away from our the place where we grew up, or what our parents do for a living or didn't do for a living, or being poor, so you're chasing money your whole life but never building any wealth. So, I saw it, like it's constantly chasing being an outlaw, being a good outlaw, right? Like he had a bounty on his head. He was doing things, but I didn't see his reserves. I didn't see where all the money, he was a outlaw that robbed outlaws, but I didn't see where that money went. I'm not saying it didn't exist. I'm not saying he didn't have a store or a cache of money somewhere, but we didn't get to see that.
And one point too, they didn't value money either. I didn't see him, when they robbed a bank, they say, okay, this is the plan and this is what we're going to do with it.
Okay, I like that.
They didn't care. It seemed like they didn't care anything about it. And I think with our generation, it seems like that's how we are. We value material things before we think about property or building our own. And that, to me, it's just all about generational curse to me.
Or they were just robbing to be robbing just to be notorious and known. But where did it go? What was the plan? Like you see that in all the drug dealing movies. And I'm not comparing this movie to a drug dealing movie by any means. But what I'm saying is, in a lot of all black cast movies, a lot of them are, and now we're getting some variety, but there are a lot of drug dealer movies, and in the drug dealer movies, they are getting money, still living in the hood, still buying a whole bunch of material stuff, having nice cars, driving up to the projects that's owned by the government, right? So exactly. That's crazy to me, but unlike this one, I just didn't see where that wealth of all of that theft was going to build anything.
Yeah, exactly. So, that's why I judge the movie straight off of generational curse. Mm-hmm. The not playing fair when the guy was doing the quick draw. I don't know his name, but he kept doing a quick draw, and he thought that the other robber was going to play fair, and he got shot square in the head. And to me, that's a part of life. Like, you're thinking, okay, I'm going to be a rule follower, and I'm going to go by these rules. When you don't understand the guy that's telling you to play these rules, he's cheating and he's not playing fair. You
right. Lakeith Stanfield. I know I'm messing his name up, but his first name is Lakeith. He was supposed to be a very quick draw, as well as the guy on Nat Love's something Bill. I hate when I'm put on the spot. I can't remember names. Anyway, he's supposed to be a quick draw as well. So the guy on Nat Love's gang wanted to quick draw against the Lakeith character, and at the movie. Alluded to it. So if you didn't catch it the first time, watch it again. That Lakeith wasn't playing fair. Lakeith valued his life over everything else, because there was a line where the Nat Love quick draw guy said, "Wasn't that what it's about? who's quicker and who's not. And Lakeith said, nah. He said it's about who's alive and who's dead and who's alive.
Very deep message.
That's a deep message.
Yeah.
That is the rules of the game. The rules of the game is who's alive at the end, not who's better. Get your ego out of it. So Lakeith didn't have his ego in it. He didn't care that he shot people in the back. He didn't care that he didn't play by the rules.
Exactly.
And the whole premise of a Western, right, is I'm going to shoot you face to face. Because if you shoot someone in the back, you're a yellow belly or a coward. So the premise is there are rules in a gunfight. And the rules are the gunfight's going to be fair. If there's rules established, meaning we're going to count down, then we're going to fairly count down, and then I'm going to shoot you. Okay? But life ain't fair. There's no predestined rules in real life.
Yeah.
They try to pretend. They give you speed limits. They give you cops to enforce the speed limits. Meanwhile, the cops themselves can speed, right?
Yeah.
So the people who know how to break the rules and have the ability and the power to break the rules do. Right?
Exactly. They do.
Yeah. So what was I going to talk about? So let's talk about how Rufus Buck wanted to... he wanted Redwood, the black town, to be their town. He wanted it to be the people's town. Now, I don't know how that was going to come to fruition in his mind, but that's what he really wanted. He didn't want the white man to come in and take over that town, and the sheriff of that town was willing to sell the town out, and Rufus wasn't. But the way he went about it was crazy, right?
Yeah, well, I say on that part, it didn't have to show that terms of them getting in a fist fight and him trying to beat him to a pulp in front of everybody.
Make an example out of him, right?
Exactly. Like, why can't the writer of Hollywood, whoever wrote the movie, why you couldn't write it where they sit down like men, especially black men, in an all-black movie, that he come to understanding saying, man, I see your points. Let's make this town ours instead of me trying to make a fast buck. You see what I'm saying? So this is why, I'm not a movie person. This is why I don't remember characters' name and all this other stuff. But I will sit down and look at a movie and I analyze it about truth and saying to myself, how hard is it for an actor? I mean, for a person that's writing the movie, how hard is it for you to change this, put this character in? Why do you have to put this person in? You understand what I'm saying?
So to change the narrative, though, is it going to still be as... Because that scene made me turn my head, right? Like, I didn't want to watch that. And I don't like watching that kind of... Especially black violence. Yeah. I don't really like to watch it. Because we see it so much in other movies. And I don't want to become numb to that. Like, you beating a brother down. I don't care who beating him down. I don't care what he did. Yeah. I don't ever want to be comfortable seeing that.
Yeah, and
with that said, though... That's called like theatric. There's a word for it, but some people like the gore and the brutalness of it, and it keeps them watching.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, I think it's just programming us as black people that this is okay. You can do your fellow mate like that, and it's wrong. Mm-hmm. They put it in video games. They put it in a lot of television shows. Power. We can name a lot of them, right? But at the end of the day, it's like, I don't want to keep seeing that. I don't want to have to see a brother in person and you got this image in the background because he did something salty and you figure like, you know what, I can do him like that because that's what I see in the movies. And it's like, no, we need to stop putting this stuff in our movies.
I'm glad, honey, that you're giving that view on it because... I enjoyed the movie. I enjoyed it. But we do have to talk about the elephant in the room. Mm-hmm. And I always talk about the elephant in the room of the visual things we're seeing and how that plays a part on our development, young people's development, our kids' development when they watch it. And the subliminal messages. You said that specifically. The subliminal messages that are being put out there and absorbed. So, right, no matter what we do in our community, there needs to be a way to handle it that doesn't involve violence and doesn't involve death. because we can't grow as a community. Any community can't grow being at each other like that.
Yeah.
So while you're seeing all the negative, not the negative, while you're seeing the generational curses, you're not seeing the black love, right?
Well, you know what?
Did you catch any of the black love going on in there?
Well, definitely. I understood that, but they show a piece to keep you into it, so we can all sit down and talk about that was a good movie. But then you're forgetting about all the other stuff that already been programmed in the back of your head about the violence and all this other stuff. Mm-hmm. So you get a little piece of that, but I'm already stuck to the program. Oh, you already gave me all this to, put inside my mind already, right? I've seen all the trickery of the no plan fair and the disrespect between the father and the son and amongst each other. You remember when they got robbed in when they was in the mountains and they robbed the guys for the money, right? Mm-hmm. For the bank robbery money. And, it's all brothers. And they're killing each other for this bag of money, and it's like, I don't want to see that part.
Okay. But in a black film that's mostly black cast, you have to have an antagonist and a protagonist. There has to be a good guy and a bad guy. And if the film is mostly black cast, they have to be opposite. There has to be a good guy. There has to be a bad guy.
It don't have to.
You can't have.
If you're writing this, you don't have to. You don't have to put the same black on black.
So what you're saying is to put another character in there that's not a black character and make him the antagonist, but then
it could have been.
Then it's not an all black cast.
It could have been Indians. It could have been anybody.
Then it's not an all black cast.
Well, at the end of the day, okay, let's go on this then. Okay. Like with Harlem Nights, that was an all black cast, right?
It was, and there was antagonists and protagonists.
Yeah, but it was in a joking stance, right? Where they joked on each other.
Yeah.
But other than that, they all worked together. From the casino to forming a robbery, they robbed somebody else. So it was written very well to me.
You're right.
Right?
Hey, shout out to Harlem Nights.
Right? So,
shout out to Harlem Nights.
That's a small example.
So on the black love stance, I love during Melanated Air, my other show that we put out, me and four of the women, Lene Javette made a comment about there wasn't any butt naked booty sex, and I agree, and I like that. It was a lot of sexual energy, a lot of sexual attention. In a couple of the scenes, which is just enough to get you like, ooh, I like that. Ooh, I like seeing that. You get to see some of the actors in a different way, but it wasn't straight out and raw, and I appreciate that because I think it would have taken away from the storyline, lengthened the movie even longer, and just been unnecessary. So for the black love standpoint, Nat Love and Stagecoach Mary, I loved their energy. And even with Rufus Buck, Idris Elba's character, and Regina King, the Trudy character, they had some energy there, some sexual energy. I don't know the backstory, whether it was like a friendship energy or something deeper, but I enjoyed that as well. I enjoyed that there's more to this story, right? Yeah. And I think it left room for another one, a sequel. And I watched some of the interviews of the director himself, James Samuels, I believe his name was. And he said he loves Westerns and that there will be more. And it ended with a way for them to give more. So hopefully we get to see that. Yeah. Is there any other, points of the movie you wanted to bring up or leave this beautiful audience with?
Like I said, I hit all the points with me, the scenes that I paid attention to. And I might go back and look at it, and me and you can talk off cameras, whatever. But at the end of the day, no, I think you hit all the points on it, and it was definitely a good movie. I think the writer could have changed up a few things to make it a perfect movie. But other than that, it was overall a good movie.
Thank you. Thank you, honey, for doing this with me. Yeah. I don't have to have a one-way conversation and showing your beautiful face. I love you.
Hey, she sounds beautiful. I mean, that's cool. I'm glad she do think that. I love my wife for that.
I do think that.
I don't be thinking about that like beauty. Oh, I'm a beautiful man. Like, look,
most beautiful people don't.
Let's keep it moving.
Okay. But yes, so as I end all of my videos, continue to invest in yourself. At least 1% a day to reach your exponential greatness. Thanks for hearing us discuss it. I finally got it out. So I felt restricted because my internet wasn't right. So let me know in the comments. What did you think about The Harder They Fall? And what do you think it means for the future of Black film and the future of Black directed, Black cast, Black produced films and where that can go? I'll see you in the next video.
Hey, wait. One more thing. This is not on the film or whatever. This is on investing in yourself 1% a day. Now, I hope you audience know it's something simple that can really change your life. You know, doing 10 push-ups a day. You know, reading a couple pages of in a book every day. You know, that's investing in yourself. So that's what we mean by it. And I really want to push that narrative. And I push it to my community, the fellow brothers that I talk to, and I tell them that every day, you know. So really take that serious. We're not saying that just to be saying it. We really mean that. And I like to push that to the world. Like, look, 1% a day. Invest in yourself, no matter what. If it's $10 you can put on Ethereum, trust me, it'll grow to $13 tomorrow. You know.
Trust us.
So at the end of the day, it's just invest in yourself 1%. You know, it's a lot of people that I know back in the hood that is not doing that, and they don't understand that they can do that, and I think everybody can. So
it's a little bit like consistency beats out everything else. Exactly. Consistently investing $1 a day or $2 a day or $3 a day or doing 5 push-ups to where you can do 10 push-ups or 15 push-ups. Hey, I'm in the military. Y'all know. Like, I started somewhere running. Yeah. We were running together, and he couldn't believe that I would run miles because I don't even like running. So we would start running together. But you have to start somewhere, and then he's running right along with me. Every place I done ran, the furthest lengths I done ran, he done been right there with me.
And guess what? You ain't gotta run either. You can walk.
You can walk. You can swim. Yeah. You can do whatever. But it all starts with those little steps. So this movie was a good watch. I highly encourage anyone to watch it and do your own analysis, and don't let the hype and the love for it, because we see so many Black people on the screen. We're like, I love it, because I love seeing us on the screen. Like, we don't get that very often. I get to have that joy. I get to have that pride. But let's talk about it. Let's break it down. I'm not about to be a movie critic review person, but I really want to talk about this movie. So thank you, honey. I love you. We'll see you in the next video.
Love you too.